Welcome, Angry Faithful. Yes, it's What the Hell Friday, where we try to condense some of the news articles that we've seen throughout the week. And we got Wild William here with us, and me. I'm David Dickerman. And yeah, how we're going to do is go over a little bit of the news that we thought was interesting this week. And if you're wondering about the title, we don't know if it's real or not. And this is what came across. Actually, one of my coworkers did the feed, and I will show it to you here in a second. There we go. This was hilarious.
About Marlon a bit about Marlon a bit about just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man. Would you care to share that journey of Marlon a bit about?
Yeah, that was what you heard. Black man.
Well, we already knew who had the balls in that family.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is this is AI, and it supposedly came from her podcast. I haven't listened to the podcast. I'll probably do that and verify it for next week. But that brings us into the new thing that everybody's in an uproar in Texas is the meme bill. And basically what it is, it's a political meme bill and saying that you cannot use AI to deframe because it causes problem with the elections. And AI right now is getting to the point where you can't tell. And that was just, a show of what it could be as a thing that if it's true, okay, it's true. If it's not true, then we could be sued. But here in Texas, and it's only gone through the House. It hasn't gone through the Texas House of Senate, and it hasn't touched the governor's desk. So it's everybody looks at these bills, and as soon as it goes through the House, everybody blows up. And I was like, oh, they're doing this. No, they pushed it through the Congress or the House of Representatives. It hasn't gone through the Senate. Once it goes through the Senate, then it's something kind of worry about. And hopefully the governor or president, whoever pushed it through or whoever signs it, yay or nay it, and it gets dropped. I mean, a lot of these bills get dropped really horribly.
A lot of AI software won't let you create an image with an actual real person who exists.
Yeah.
Elon's Grok will. I mean, you can do anything, have whoever doing whatever, and boom, there it is. But a lot of the AI, you tell it to do something, and it'll go, I can't do that.
Well, that was another bill that supposedly went through the House of Representatives this week. Was a bill that I'm trying to say the words correctly. Is the bill basically said that you cannot use AI to make not hate crimes. Like if I used a AI generated to make a corn video of my ex to deframe that person, or basically make it to where it was she's a horrible person, she did this, and I videotaped it. Well, I'm sorry I have to go through it, loopholes on this one because we're on YouTube. but from what it said, it was like 400 help voted for it. It's one of those bills, if it actually comes to light, because we have to start looking at AI as a not as a restrictive thing, but as a tool that we use to work some of the stuff that we can't really it's more or less creative.
You can use it as a, when I first started, it was just, I have access to Grok. Okay, what can it do? Oh, it can make a cute image. Oh, let's make a cat in a Santa suit towing a sled over Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, okay. I'll send it to my sister who despises Trump, and she's not going to know that that's Mar-a-Lago down below. But hey, I had a nice little Christmas picture I threw around that was a cat towing a sled through the skies over Mar-a-Lago. I did stuff like that with it. And then all of a sudden I realized that it was a tool.
Yeah.
And I started using it as a tool. And one of the things in Britain, their totalitarian regime over there, they're wanting us to adhere to their laws of meme generation. Now if the liberals had won, they would try to make it happen some way or another. They'd go around the corner and make it happen.
I don't think it would be able to happen because we still have the First Amendment. Even if it went through and the administration auto penned it, then it still has to be held up within the Supreme Court. No. And once it goes through the Supreme Court, it's the same problem we're having right now with the Muslim community, because they have a religion, because it's considered a religion.
They would require, here's how they would do it. They would require businesses, because their commerce around the world, they would require businesses to comply with it. That's how they were already trying to do it. Facebook was already going to go along with it a few years ago when Elon came up and said, no, if Elon hadn't stepped in, we would be under indirectly the British, the UK censorship regulations. Facebook was going to go along with it because, you're a world business, so you have to follow world rules. And since you're a world business, well, that's got to apply to us too, because you're a worldwide commerce. That's why if you have a website here in America, you have to put UK style disclaimers at the bottom of it.
Oops.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I have a website. I need to find someone to pay to kind of fix some things. And one of the things I never did was put those UK disclaimers at the bottom of it.
Why do you have the UK disclaimers?
There's all kinds of well, not UK.
I know there's
EU, European Union disclaimers of we're not going to do this to with your information or that. We're keeping this secret. The UK was the first time I saw images blurred out.
Well, there's a reason. I know there's a reasoning for it, and it's all because of the dancing Viking. What had happened? Have you ever heard of the dancing Viking? If not, no big deal. I can't show it to you because it's a thing that happened probably around about 6 to 7 years ago. And when it happened, it was someone who was videotaping this guy in Norway, and he was rave dancing, and it blew up. Okay, just really blew up. What had happened after that was there was a lawsuit against the person who made the video first, and then it got to the point where here in the United States, you don't have to worry about it. But if you take a picture, like if you're in Paris and there's someone behind you in that image, they can sue you if it goes viral because they didn't want to be in that photo. You had to ask permission for them to be in that photo. But they can.
Their regulations go beyond just a photo. It just totally went nuts. I don't remember exactly what, because it was about. I've had a website for 11 years now. It's probably about 8 years ago that it came up and said, "Oh, you need to put this notice in the bottom of your page." It's on everything to do with how we use our information. We won't do this. We won't do that. We'll conform to this EU statute and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't done that. I'm afraid to touch it.
But in other news, the Trump administration announces that the U.S. government has dropped criminal charges against a small farmer and rancher. I'm going to have to, I think it's Monday. Let me get Stephanie Hawking on this. Mod family. Today, the Trump administration announces bold action to put farmers and ranchers first by dropping the criminal charges against Charles and Heather Maud, a South Dakota family who has a small cattle and hog operation. This family has endured a senseless, political motivated procedure waged by the Biden administration over 25 acres of federal land. Government resources for prosecution should be forced to on true criminals and not a family farmers trying to make ends meet. The Mod are not criminals. They have worked their land since the 1900s, and something that should have been a minor civil land dispute that was over and done with quickly turned into a overzealous criminal prosecution on the hardworking family that was close to losing their home, children, livelihood. Not in this America, not under President Trump. Secretary Brooke Rollins. A political motivated witch hunt was launched against the Maud family over a fence line and planting dispute with the small family farm, which was cultivated land near federal grasslands since 1900s. Dropping these charges against the Maud family is not only just, it is affirming the America First mandate that was sent to Washington when President Trump was overwhelmingly elected and sworn into office just 100 days ago. So, yeah, that happened. I'm surprised it didn't end up like the I think it was in New Mexico where a bunch of farmers took up arms against the federal government. I thought that was funny. But what are your views on that, Bill?
I actually haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's been in the news. Here's the thing, and what we try to do, and I got this from the USDA actual website, the United Department of Agriculture. But government overreach, it happens sometimes. And yes, we should be aware of it, but no one's making this aware. Everybody is caught up with the whole immigration stuff. And they just, I mean, the newest thing right now is the first 100 days of evil Trump.
I was caught up a little bit more in Canada.
Yeah, Canada's flipping the script, and they're going like, well, we kind of need the U.S.
No, Canada elections.
Oh, okay.
Canada elections, they're basically screwed. The Liberals won. They beat the Conservatives. But they don't have a majority. So Carney had come out, just one issue. Carney had come out and said, "Oh yeah, okay, we're gonna get to go against America and help ourselves. We're gonna put pipelines across Canada. They have pipelines, but not big enough to really transport anything meaningful, so they could break away from the U.S." Well, that was a lie. The leader of the New Democrat Party came out and said, "There's no way in hell are going to do that." The liberals, there's not going to be enough of them to go for it. So he was blowing smoke at everyone, and it's not going to happen. And that's one thing Alberta really needs, and they get drug over the coals on. But here was Carney a few years ago on net zero. So this is his. He's a big World Economic Forum guy.
Okay.
You demanded action, and now it's time for the financial sector to deliver. To reach net zero, every country, every company, every bank, every investor, every pension fund around the world will need to make some big changes. In the run-up to COP26 in Glasgow, we have an enormous opportunity to bring climate change into the heart of every financial decision. And our plan will manage the risks from climate change while helping to seize the opportunities from a newer, greener economy. The UK has been at the forefront of innovation for centuries, brimming with ingenuity and a can-do spirit. It also houses the world's largest financial system. And by bringing them together, we can deliver the net zero world that you've demanded and that our future generations deserve. The world's coming to Glasgow. Let's reshape finance for a sustainable world. You demanded action, and now it's time for the...
That was a couple of years ago, but he's made similar statements since then. But here at the very end, he tried to convince everyone that no, I'm going against America now, so I'm for things like us putting a pipeline across the country. And he's already come out and created some friction with Danielle in Alberta, and it's just not going to happen. This is the guy from the New Democrat Party. So Carney convinces people that, okay, yeah, we'll help and put a pipeline across. This is the person who he would need some of his votes.
And we will have to remain the barrier not to be crossed, protecting French language and secularity of the state in Quebec, and a different model in immigration, which has to be successful, and the fact that there's no future for oil and gas, at least in Quebec and probably everywhere, and this has to be said and protected. I have a brand new weapon to do that. Mr. Bonin will be extraordinary carrying that message. And we will have to remain.
So there's no way they're not going to pipeline. Danielle in Alberta knows it, and she has done a few things to that makes it easier for them to get a petition going to break away. But used to do a referendum, it required 600,000 votes, 600,000 signatures just to put a referendum on the ballot. She came out first day after the win and dropped it to 177,000 and extended the collection time from 90 to 120 days, knowing that the first thing that was going to be going around was a Alberta Leave Canada petition.
Yeah.
But I think I'd mentioned a few weeks ago about one of the other provinces that back in, I think it was the 80s, tried to break away. And back then, all it needed was 51%. There are more stipulations to that now that they put in place about 10 years ago. So it's not quite that easy. And it's going to take a lot more than just a simple majority. But Trump, they're thinking Trump could push the issue welcoming them, not necessarily that they would become a state, but at least break away and have independence. And possibly in the future move to territory status, and then 4 to 6 years after that become a state. But at the very minimum, become independent from Canada. And if the rest of Canada doesn't have access to the oil and gas revenue that Alberta has, that's going to screw Canada.
Yeah. Now, another thing that happened this week is Trump was at, and this is, we're not going to play the video. We're just going to show the picture of it. Is Trump talked to Zelensky at the Vatican about mineral rights and fixing up Ukraine. Now, you said the deal was kind of shady.
Yeah, it's not really nearly as good. I have the details of one and the other. Let me just go into what changed between the two deals. This is explicit mentions. The original deal explicitly listed rare earths, titanium, lithium, uranium, oil, gas, and port revenues, casting a wide net. The signed deal focuses on critical minerals with graphite, titanium, and lithium, frequently cited. Now, this report said it omitted oil and gas and port revenues. I think he still mentioned natural gas. I don't remember if it mentioned port. Also, the focus was narrowed. The signed deal prioritizes minerals with strategies such as graphite for EV batteries, titanium for defense, lithium for energy storage over broader resources like hydrocarbons. This aligns with global supply chain needs, especially given China's dominance in rare earth and recent export restrictions. Now, both face challenges because they deal with Russian-occupied territories. So we would be including that. That's where significant mineral deposits are. 63% of coal, half of manganese and rare earths are right now in Russia-occupied territory, and the signed deal does not focus on that. A couple of more things. The original deal was criticized as colonial and exploitive, prioritizing U.S. financial gains over Ukraine's sovereignty and security. The signed deal, while more balanced, still favors the U.S. through privileged access and lacks security guarantees, limiting the strategic value. The vagueness on minerals of the signed deal may reflect ongoing uncertainties about commercial viabilities and war-related risks. So it seems like we're not CYA over covering their as much as that first deal. The shift to a reconstruction-focused fund. You were talking about us making our money back.
Mm-hmm.
The shift is to a reconstruction-focused fund, suggesting a compromise to maintain U.S. support for Ukraine, while addressing domestic U.S. demands for a return on aid. So it's more us restoring them than us getting paid back. No one has talked about this. So here's a conclusion that Grok came up with on this. The signed deal on April 30th is a toned-down version of the February proposal, moving from a repayment-driven U.S.-centric model to a cooperative partnership focused on reconstruction investment funds. The minerals included shifted from a broad array, the rare earths, titanium, lithium, uranium, oil, gas, and more, to a narrower focus on critical minerals like graphite, titanium, and lithium. While it makes the deal more palatable to Ukraine, it remains light on specifics and does not address Ukraine's core demand for security guarantees, reflecting a pragmatic but incomplete resolution to months of contentious talk. The security guarantees, basically, you can't say U.S. is going to do security guarantees. Then how is he going to go negotiate with Putin when they can go, okay? So it's more of an indirect security guarantee. Us being there is the guarantee. Because if we have our interests over there, Russia attacks, then that's an attack on us. So it's kind of an indirect guarantee without saying we're making a guarantee. That's what he tried to do in that first deal when they kept saying security guarantee. We need a security guarantee. And I know what Trump was thinking. We've got that indirectly. I don't want to say it because I'm supposed to be a middleman moderating a peace deal.
Yeah.
You can't moderate and directly take a hardline side.
Well, it's kind of what happened in Syria. What happened in Syria? And I just listened to the full version from one of the guys that was on the Russian side talking about what the reason why they did that. What happened was there was a Conoco refinery or pipeline in Syria that United States Special Forces were guarding, and Rangers, but mainly it was Special Forces. They were taking care of guarding this place, and they found incoming attack coming. At first, it was mortars, and then there was vehicles and everything. And within like 6 hours at midnight on that day, there pretty much wasn't. It was pretty much moon. It looked like the moon from what the Russians were talking about. But it was the Wagner group that did it. See, what happened is they used the Wagner group to do this attack. So if it went well, oh yeah, Russia did good. But if it went poorly, we don't know what Wagner was thinking. So that's the reason why they did it. The guy was like, it was horrible. It was just horrible. We didn't know. We didn't know. It was basically air superiority. They had like 2 Apaches and a A1C gunship called the Angel of Death for reasons, and basically just tore into them. And it ended the whole skirmish in about 6 hours. But listening to the whole reasoning why they did it and what was happening and what they wanted. But they've been doing this since like early 2000s. Putin's been doing like shady deals and trying to get like certain locations for the motherland, and a lot of people are trying to. I mean, everybody's against Russia, but there's certain deals that happen that was against Russia, and we were forcing Russia's hand, and sometimes it was just Russia being Russia. So.
Yeah, and then the liberals they often say, "Oh, war for oil, war for oil." What was it? The war in Kuwait? Was it that they said war for oil, war for oil? Well, yeah, we helped protect their oil, and then we didn't take any.
Well, okay,
what's up with that? We should have at least said, okay, and this is what I said at the time. We should have at least said, okay, let's like take enough to pay for what it cost us, not just, steal their oil, but at least get reimbursed
We got reimbursed.
No, we didn't get anything
No,
from
no,
their
trust me.
their oil. From their oil.
No, we didn't get anything from the oil, but we got reimbursed. Trust me, we got reimbursed.
Top secret stuff.
Not really top secret. A lot of it you can find out online, but a lot of the stuff, the deal was for most of the Air Force, most of the bases in Kuwait that are American owned or American part, we are leased from the U.S. government to Kuwait, and they pay for the stuff. I mean, we got like steak and lobster every Friday. We were treated like kings there. I ended up like getting a camel. So
Getting a camel?
I helped this. Okay.
You were there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in Kuwait, but I wasn't in like Desert Storm. I'm not that old.
Did you get a camel?
Story with the camel.
Did you eat a camel or did you ride a camel? That's the big question everyone's wondering.
I ate a camel.
Oh man.
What had happened?
I've eaten a kangaroo. They're pretty good.
Camel's good, dude. I mean, you got to cut the fatty stuff off because they're fat, but camel's good. Even camel milk is good. I've had camel milk and it's freaking delicious. It's so sweet. So sweet.
Is that what you drain out of that hump?
No, that's fat.
Oh, okay. There's no camel milk in there?
No, it's fat. No, I helped this.
And nothing to do with camel meal, which is a kind of good tea. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. What had happened is I ended up helping. We were going around town and everything. There's this guy that his tire was broken down and he was having trouble with it, so I helped him out. And in their culture, if you help them out, they're supposed to reward you. And I was like, no. Your thank you is good enough for me. Because we're not, when you're over there, we're not supposed to take anything as gifts. Even if we helped people out, we're not allowed to take any gifts. Like the first incursion during Desert Storm, all the soldiers supposed to get like $10,000. That's what the Kuwaiti government was offering. $10,000 to each soldier that was out there. And the US government said no.
Aw.
Yeah.
Is that what kind of you felt like? Aw.
No, because I wasn't at Desert Storm.
Oh.
And this is after the liberation of Kuwait. But that story aside, well, I helped this guy out. He asked me questions because it was at this base. I could tell him which base I was at, and they were like, "Well, what are you from?" And I was like, "Well, I'm staying at the Ali Salim." I was like, "Okay. What's your name?" He asked my name, all kinds of stuff, and then when I get to the base, I think probably around about 4 to 5 days later, I get a call from the gate. Well, I get forced to go to the gate, and I'm working nights there because I didn't want to ruin my schedule from home. But anyways, so I talked to my sergeant at the time, or master sergeant at the time, which is a good guy. He was like, "Hey, you got a gift at the gate from what the security forces are talking about." I'm like, "A gift at the gate? Dude, tell him to take it away." I was like, "Oh, you're gonna want to see this." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I get out to the gate and I'm like, "Hey, what's this thing? This guy brought you a camel." I was like, "Bullshit. Why am I here? I got to work tonight." I need my sleeve. I was like, no, this dude brought you a camel. And he just hands me the freaking ropes. He goes, you do good, and walks off. So I have this camel. Well, I don't know what to do with this camel, and my command's pissed. Well, my command officer is pissed because reasons, and she, maybe you get the wink on that one, didn't like me after certain things. But anything that I did that was on protocol, I was in for paperwork most of the time. And she was like, what did you do to get this camel? I'm like, it's not like I went out and bought a camel, ma'am. It's like, what'd you do? I was like, well, I ended up helping the dude out with a tire when I was in town. I helped him change it, and he exchanged information, and he said he was going to give me a gift. And I was like, no, I told him not to worry about the gift. Just go ahead and do that. So I ended up having a camel. She's like, get rid of it. All right, I'll get rid of it. Well, I gave it to the TCNs. And I was like, hey guys, quick thing. I have a camel now. Do you want this camel? They're like, oh, well, I didn't know, gifting a camel would end up me getting, because it was kind of a couple of days, I think. But the next couple of days, they hand me this tray. It was like, we made it for you. We got it done. I opened it up and everything, and I was like, what is this? What kind of meat is this? And I tasted it, and I'm like, oh, it's camel. Oh. And so I ate it. It was really good. Salty.
Was it the one you gave him?
Yeah.
Aww.
I knew exactly what it was. As soon as they said camel, I was like, oh.
Did you get it on a Wednesday?
I don't know. I can't remember that back. That was about 20 years, dude. Oh, hump day. Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Anyways. Well, I got one other. I got a couple of things. This is another main one that I wanted to show everybody about Doge, since Elon Musk is about to get out of Doge and get out of the political spectrum, so to speak.
So these are replica case folders that people use to retire from the government. And so these are all compiled by hand, moved around on carts through the mine. It takes many months to do that. And this one is a single retiree's paper required to leave the government.
So if somebody wants to retire, they can't, because it takes 6 months to compile the paper and carry the paper into a mine where it is stored. And also all the calculations are done by hand.
Everything has
in
to be
2025.
And there was one guy whose paperwork took an entire pallet, was one person's paperwork. Anyone who has an opportunity needs to watch that entire Jesse Waters program. Yeah, the other part was tonight. But yeah, it was most of his. Was it all or most of his program? I saw it, and it's mind-blowing. If every American saw that, aside from the loons, they would actually learn maybe what's going on and what they're actually doing. Money just going away with computer systems that have no footnotes. They don't identify the money and they just give it. They're like, what was this for? My one of the ones I remember was they had said, okay, we need, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing and going around on this. It was something like they put out a notice that they need a receipt on any money request, and they got no more requests. And he laughed and said, we weren't even going to verify the receipts. You could have, like picture your dog or whatever. You could have sent anything in. We were going to verify it, but no one sent anything, and they just stopped requesting money. So it's an excellent program. Watch the entire thing. And have you seen Elon's new facility, Starlink facility in Texas?
No, I don't. Okay.
What does that make you think of?
The Louvre? Oh, okay. Yeah,
And no, as far as anyone has said, Elon is not a Mason. But anyway,
well, everybody wants to. I mean, there's so much stuff on the Masons. My dad's a Mason,
but he designed an entire building that'll look like it.
No, I seriously think it's not that. It was just a different. It might have been something else entirely. I can almost guarantee you.
I can think that Elon would do that as half a joke just to make people think.
Yeah.
He's that kind. He's like they say he's like almost like a child or teenager with lots of money in the way
he's like a normal dude. If we had that kind of money, we would do stupid shit like that.
Oh yeah.
I would, dude, if I had like fuck me money, because that's what he has. He doesn't have fuck you money. He could spend enough money and just fuck me about it. Because that's what he did with X. That was fuck me money. It wasn't supposed to, and everybody in everybody's financial thinking, it was supposed to bankrupt Elon Musk. But now it's turning a profit. People call him, people like him starting out dumb for what he's doing. He has reasons why he's doing XYZ, and he's failed too a lot, especially because he was looking at the first 3 rockets that exploded. They were supposed to fail so they can analyze the data. That's the same thing what they talk about with Trump. It was like, well, Trump went bankrupt. Yeah, he's still worth like $3 billion. Probably less now because he's working in the government now. But they keep on bringing that up, which is ridiculous because they keep on, it's like, oh, you're just a Trump fan. I was like, no. Well, he went bankrupt. Okay, he went bankrupt and he's still $3 billion. He owns $3 billion. Tell me what he went back. They can't say anything else. And this is me trying to get you to having a valid argument other than, oh, he has this. Give me a valid argument and I will validate it. I'm sorry. But if you're just going to come at me with like stupid stuff like he's tearing the government apart. We don't even know the full extent of, I mean, as soon as he did the tariffs, yes, all the stocks went down because they didn't know what was going on. And then after a while, he's like, okay, we're going to put a pause on it and see where everything goes because a lot of the people came up and came to us and they're making deals. It was a scare tactic on his behalf to get people to actually listen. Hey, this is what's going on. We'll pause it, but you better be coming with a good deal. And a lot of countries have come with the good deal. But everybody wants to go out and it's all burning into the ashes right now. Yes, right now. Wait a couple of minutes. Maybe someone will piss on it. Who knows?
Yeah, wait, 6-8 months. And Rand Paul voted, was it yesterday or the day before? He voted with the Democrats to try to stop Trump's tariffs and take back his ability to tariff because it's a tax and we need control of it. But the whole reason it's going to work is it doesn't do as I've said in a past program, how typically the tariff process takes years or over a decade for the process, working with one. He is just throwing out a cannonball and he's working with everyone at once. Why does he have to? Because he's working with China, but then he's working deals with all of the others, making agreements that they won't work with China.
Yeah. And
If he didn't have all that going, he wouldn't have the leverage with China that he has. If he wasn't making sure everyone else wasn't, like the process of I was going to get into this last week. Yeah, it's a process where, hold one sec.
that's okay.
Well, I closed it out because it's extremely complicated, and I knew we weren't going to be able to get into it. Oh, wait a minute. Re-exporting.
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 Okay.
It's where say China, Taiwan would take and get a product imported into Taiwan. They won't even touch it. Then they'll re-export it to us. It avoids the tariffs that we're putting on China and gets the Chinese goods to us. So some of the things he has stated when he's gone after some of these countries is, I'm increasing the tariff on you because you're re-exporting.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. It was like the what they were talking about with the islands. He's tariffing an island with penguins on it.
Right.
The reason why he was doing that is because China was using that as a port of entry to from one location to another location to get out of the ways of the tariffs. And he that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand, because they just want to blindly go in with whatever the media is telling us. But here's the thing. The reason why we take 2 weeks on the information that we want to get out, one, we don't have the resources and the resources of people that are within the government giving us like extra information. We don't have that ability. But we do have is the ability to wait and get the correct information. Like there were several islands and places that were tariffed and no one's there. Literally no one's there. And the whole reason why they were doing that is because they were saying, yeah, we're from here. Where's that at? We don't even know where that's at. And they were just saying, well, no, this is where it's coming from. Where is that at? I mean, they could have said that it was the Chinese man-made island that they made. And they're shipping it from there. And they called it Bangkok Day.
No?
I don't know what it's actually called. They just call it Bangkok Day. That's the country of origin. And oh, well, we can't tariff that. We don't know what that island is. So he just did a blanket tariff on every country so that they could do that.
Oh, you had mentioned the way SpaceX develops their rockets.
Yeah.
It's called iterative, ITERATIVE development. And that's where you make something really fast and you know it makes mistakes. You know it's going to blow up. And then you take readings off of it and then build another one really fast instead of sitting there like NASA and make calculation after calculation and get it on a desktop and make sure this calculates out right. And that's why it takes so long for NASA and why he can do it as fast as he does.
Yeah. It's called chaos studies.
Well, the development technique is iterative.
Well, whatever they want to call
If you look look that up, and you can find a lot of businesses talk about using that technique. When the business talks about that technique, they reference Elon and say, "We want to do this with our business to move forward like Elon," and then they'll put Elon into their business plans. I started looking it up, and I got that a lot.
Well, the thing about it is, there's a bad side on something like that. It after the third rocket, if the third rocket didn't work out, then third or fourth? I think it was third.
Fourth.
Okay, if the fourth one didn't work out, then Elon would have been bankrupt.
Yeah, that was in the very beginning. But now they've got the resources to do it, and they can do it fast. Like after that, and after they got that first contract, after that fourth launch was a success, then they started ramping up their iterative development for the next Falcon generations of engines for it, their next generations, until they got certified to do manned launches. Then they couldn't do that kind of playing around to advance their engines. If you've seen a picture of their engines, one of them with all the tubes all over it, and then there's fewer tubes, and then the third it's the Merlin engine. It's real sleek looking, hardly anything on it, and that's how they designed it, and they progressed that fast using that technique continuously. Even while they were doing live launches off to the side, they were using that technique to improve the rocket engines. But it had to be certified for people by NASA. So once they did that, that kind of slowed that down. But now Starship, it's not certified by, it's in its initial development phase. Now he has the money to do it without always going to go bankrupt. Like you said, if you watch the Return to Space special on Netflix, it goes into that. It's very, very good detail on the beginning of him. In fact, there's a picture. If you look it up, you can find it. It's him sitting on the floor with a bunch of rocket pieces. And that was the launch. The next launch was the one that, his design team thought they were already done for when he went back up and said, "Okay, I got the money for one more try."
Yeah.
And that launched him. And he's on, oh my gosh, is it Starship 8? I can't believe I forgot that, because I subscribe to NASA Spaceflight Now on YouTube, so I continuously get notifications of every launch. But they're getting ready. They just did a static fire of the engines on it, I think, over the last couple of days. But he makes a lot of design changes. Every one of the starships. So people are like, "Oh, look how much of a failure he is. It blows up." It doesn't matter. Yes, okay. He wanted it to get a little bit further on the last one. The mission still was not a complete failure. It would have been a success if he'd have gone in, launched his little Pez thing, and it had come back down and blown up. It would have still been considered a spectacularly successful mission. There was just a couple of mission objectives that he didn't get to.
No, Starship Flight 8 was scrubbed.
Is that the most recent one?
Yeah, a day ago, March 4th.
They don't have I don't think they have a launch date yet. That was a where they test the engines, light the engines on the pad. That's what they're doing right now. They don't have a firm launch date yet, I don't think.
No,
that was the static fire test.
Yeah, it was March 6th. Okay. So I think that's about it on my.
A couple more things.
Okay, you only got 6 minutes. Well, 7 minutes. No.
Okay, one of the things, and I pulled this up that I really hate, and Jessica Tarlov brought it up again, is there's this stupid ass politician who keeps bringing up Representative Greg Cesar in Democrat in Texas, who keeps bringing up the Elon makes $8 million a day. Elon makes $8 million a day of your money. No, that is a really contrived figure that he got based on what SpaceX was getting last year. And he took existing contracts and divided the amount by 365 to get the figure. It's not Elon's pocketing. It's the amount of contracts for SpaceX. Yeah, you've got the development, you've got the rockets. That's not profit, much less into his pocket. And he's divided this figure up for 365 days. Some of his like his Star Shield is for multi-year. One of his contracts is $800 million for the deorbiter. That's a contract that is now till 2030. That's contracts they haven't even been paid for yet. They're paid out as it goes.
Yeah.
So this $8 million figure, it just grinds me so much when I hear that, because
they're shooting in the dark. Honestly, most people that are trying to make a name for themselves are literally shooting in the dark. They don't know. They're just hoping something hits so they can get some views and they can get some ad money.
He came out with that. That representative came out with it during a House Oversight Subcommittee hearing, February 12th. That's where he shot out that number. Then for days and days, he might still be doing it. Every day he posted, Elon pockets $8 million a day. It's a lie. His 41, $42 billion contracts are all the way from 2006, his first contract, to 2030. It's not what he's getting now. It's not what he's getting this year. It's contracts that go out over that span of time. And he has saved us hundreds of billions of dollars in what we were paying to launch satellites and launch. I mean, he's done over 35 resupply missions to the International Space Station.
Yeah. Well, I have one last thing that we need to take a look up, and this is from Chuck Schumer. This is his take on how Trump is doing for this.
The polls this week show Trump has the lowest 100-day approval rating since they started polling 80 years ago. The lowest. Yes.
There's a poll out today that has your approval rating lower than any other congressional rating, at 17%. Are you concerned that you may be a liability for your party?
Polls come and go. Our party is united.
Polls come and go. What? Then why did you stress that one? And besides, that's a BS poll anyway, because they took a sample size. They took a sample size of much higher Democrats than Republicans. So the poll was rigged anyway, if you look at the sample size.
Okay. Yeah, I got that. But what gets me is the fire back from the reporter. It's like, well, it's showing that 17% only like you. Polls come and go. Polls come and go. So we shouldn't trust polls. But you said just like 5 seconds ago that we should trust polls. Well, are you doing your government double talk, sir? I concur that you need to specify what you were saying, sir. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just that they're trying to reach and make this administration look bad, and they're trying their hardest. They don't even know what to go in with the midterms.
Oh, they hope he fails.
Yeah. Well, no.
All it's going to take is a few positive trade deals come out. The mineral deal was the first one. And I think, yeah, he weakened it to get it signed, but no one else in the media has made that comparison, liberal or conservative, because if liberals saw this, it's all you'd be hearing is, oh, he caved on the minerals deal. I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
So this is something my mind went, and started researching. But he needed to get it done to have that win.
Yeah.
A couple of trade deals he gets done, and it's just gonna blow it away. Now that's a couple of trade deals getting done as long as this doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's gonna be next week because I want the long one. How the district judges are trying to overturn all of Trump's stuff because they think they have power, which they don't. It's the Supreme Court that has that power, not the district court. And we'll go over that next week. But everybody, it better be fast, Bill, because
I have one thing I must add. Use Grok if you have any question on a product and impacts of tariffs on the product. I noticed this morning at 2:00 in the morning, a microphone I was going to buy had gone up by $50. And I'm not seeing it right now. I asked Grok about it, and he said some new tariffs went into effect today, some upped tariffs on China. And that was possibly a result of those up tariffs. It was a Shure microphone, just like the one you've got. It's $500, and it went to $550 overnight. It went to $550.
I bought like $150, dude.
I'm getting one a little better. But it went up to $550, and I was like, oh crap, because I've been watching it.
Yeah.
And then I looked on Shure's website to see if it wasn't just Best Buy screwing around, and it had gone up to $550 there. All the microphones had gone up. I went to Amazon, and Amazon still had 9 left at the $500 price. And I just checked, they're down to 2 left. And I mentioned a mixer to Grok that I said, hey, I'm also looking at this. And he'll come out and say, okay, this percentage of the device is made in this country. This percentage is made in this. This is made in Taiwan, but the parts are from China. So it's going to have a percent tariff on this that's Taiwanese and this China. But he said your mixing board that you're wanting to get is almost 100% made in China. So he actually said, get it immediately. He's expecting a $500 mixing board to, within a couple of months, possibly, and this is because he said the manufacturer and the distributor will eat some of the tariff percentages, so you won't see things going up over 200%. But he's expecting this $500 mixer to go up to $700 to $1,000.
Jesus.
And I just got a new computer I've ordered, and I won't say the exact cost, but from last week when I ordered it to I tried to configure it today to see what it came to, it was about $800 more this week than last week. Damn. So if you want something, and part of it is the and I actually said, hey, I noticed that computer you helped me configure went up to this price. And he said, oh, okay, let's break that down. And he's like, okay, because the 5080 graphics card is getting scarce and components are about to get higher, more expensive, that's one of the components that increased. Then here's the other component that increased, and here's why. And he goes through and goes through where the parts come from and how the tariffs are affecting it. It's amazing amount of detail that Grok comes up with. Anytime you're going to buy something, go ahead and go to them. Our stove is messing up. Our stove's going to be affected soon by tariffs. I'm looking at LG, Frigidaire, Whirlpool, and Samsung. He went through, broke down all the stoves, and broke down where the components are made. Like this one's made in the United States, but it's using aluminum that's going to get hit by this percentage of tariff. And it's going to be using these components from this other country, but overall it'll be cheaper because the main components are compiled in America. And he went through brand by brand in that detail, so he could tell me, ask these questions, look at where they're manufactured, look at where the parts are. These will be stable for a while, these prices. So use Grok when you want to purchase anything. My research on the PC, narrowing down the configuration of the PC, I plopped it in Word, and me and Grok went through over a week and a half time frame. It came out to over 560 pages in Word. Was our conversation to nail down the computer I ordered.
Nice. Well, everybody, thank you all that were coming in and out of this episode. It happens sometimes. Sometimes we got low ones. Sometimes we got high ones. But everyone, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Wild William.
And have a good weekend. Love you guys.
Yeah. Later.